Can you imagine being considerably overweight and realizing that your health, your well-being, and your longevity even on this planet hinged on doing something about it, yet feeling too fat for the gym? That the anxiety that you have on either how little you know about training or just what others are going to think of you when you step into that gym is literally enough to prevent you from doing anything about the very problem you know that you need to solve. What's up, guys? Jeff Cavaliere, ATHLEAN-X.com. Nothing pains me more than to hear when somebody knows they have to do something about their health and can't do it, mostly because of their perceptions of what others are going to think about them in the pursuit of their own health. And it's especially sad to me when it comes in the form of someone who's younger. As we get older, maybe we are more responsible for the decisions we've made and accumulated over the years. We put ourselves in that spot. It's no less tragic when it doesn't work out right, but again, we've put ourselves there. But when you're a kid, especially these days, you're susceptible to a lot of shit. Through social media and everything else, the pressures of being a kid are a lot harder, I think, today than they have ever been. Well, today I want to share somewhat of an Ask Jeff question. This is an unsolicited one, though, because nobody ever asked me this question. This came from Reddit. The title was, "How can a fat dude go to the gym without feeling embarrassed?" He says, "I'm 20 years old, and I'm 100 kg, 220 pounds if my math is correct. I really need to go to the gym, both because of my physical and mental health. But I can't stop thinking about the fact that everyone's going to be looking at me. I also have no experience, so that's another issue as a whole." Imagine, again, knowing you have to do something, not just even for your physical health, but to make you mentally happier, and still finding it difficult to start because he's concerned about what others are going to think. Thankfully, the Reddit community stepped up and basically gave this kid all the encouragement that he needed. They gave him a lot of support. And I want to do the same thing here. And I want you guys to be able to do the same thing because I think we all could relate. Remember the first time you were at the gym and you tried to bench press? Right? How'd that bar move? Did it move straight up and down as it should, or did it kind of wobble in all directions, even if it had nothing on the bar, no weight? Or the first time you tried to do a push-up. You know, that might have been a long time ago when you were a kid, but did you think you executed it perfectly? Or was your ass way up in the air and your arms sort of tilted? We don't really have the built-in proprioception to be able to nail these gym-related movements so perfectly. And machines are there to save us in some cases, and that's why a lot of newbies will run to the machines because it's a little bit harder to screw them up. But at the same time, we all start from somewhere. What's really happening in the gym, and this is what I hope he's watching, is that nobody's actually looking at you negatively. And if they are, they're a dick, okay? There's a dick in every gym, but I bet you there's far fewer today than there's ever been before because we can all appreciate the journey. The first time you ever step in a gym, we all wish there was somebody out there that could have come over to us and said, "Hey, let me help you with that." Or that we had the courage to ask somebody instead of feeling like we're too self-conscious to even interact with anybody. I wish I had that courage. The very first time I stepped into World Gym as a kid, I basically went in and signed up, and the guy said to me, before I even had my signature on the line of the contract, he said, "You should eat 4 peanut butter sandwiches a day." The reality was, he did something that I now appreciate that I didn't at the moment. He said, "But listen, don't keep looking at all those really big guys. You know, there's 2 ways to look really good. You can either be really big or you can be ripped." And I think what he was doing was, he knew it wasn't in the cards for me to ever be one of the biggest guys in the gym. But he was giving me the encouragement, but you could look really good ripped. And that kind of became my goal. And I decided to sort of pursue that end goal, and I was able to do so pretty successfully. Now, could I have gotten bigger? Maybe, but I never would have been stepping on the stage of a Mr. Olympia. But at least he gave me some hope. We all have hope when we're in the gym. Some of the suggestions that were provided to this kid were, you know what, just walk in there for the very first time and look around. Don't even do anything. Just familiarize yourself with the place. Get comfortable walking around the gym, and then leave and go home and come back the next time and maybe just jump on a bike. And while you're on the bike, you know, look a little bit. Look around and just see what people are doing. Look and see the progression of exercises that people use. Look and see how they're performing the exercises. Look and see if they ask other people for spots, how they interact. It's like you're learning the culture of the gym. And let's face it, there is some sort of a gym culture, right? And I think that not knowing what it is, we start to feel a little bit intimidated. But don't be. You know, then maybe the next time he does jump on a machine, or he goes to a machine where someone else is using it that looks friendly, or that looks like they already taught somebody else how to do something, or maybe it's one of the trainers at the gym. Find your allies and then go sort of buddy up to them and sort of use them as your way of getting more comfortable. Again, when I was back in the gym, dealing with an entirely set of different issues here. Again, not as damaging to my health being super skinny, but pretty mentally harmful. I had the best gym on campus at UConn was in McMahon, which was directly across from where my quad was. So people would come from all across the campus, and UConn's a large campus, to come use that gym because it was the biggest, it was the newest, it had the most equipment, it had the latest equipment, it also had the most amount of people. And because of that one very reason, I didn't want to go. It was right across the street from my gym, but I wanted to pick times that I could go when people wouldn't be there. The less crowded the gym would be, the better I would feel about starting my workout. Mostly because I didn't want the eyes. You know what I'm talking about? The eyes. You think everyone's looking at you. Well, I had a scenario where the eyes that were on me were actually the friends of my sister. A bunch of guys that used to work out at the gym, and they would always be looking over at me and smiling and kind of looking and smiling. I was convinced that they were making fun of me. Convinced that they thought I was so painfully skinny and they were laughing at me. When in reality, they went to her and they were like, how's your brother get so ripped? I can't believe it, man. Like, we're over here. Now, they were way bigger than me. But they were looking at me going, how's he get so ripped? So what we always imagine is usually a lot worse than what the reality is. Even Jesse himself, deadlifting recently in a public gym here, he's got guys looking over his shoulder, that guy right there. But he told me that guy came up to him later on. It's like, how do you do and lift as much as you do at your body weight? And again, he's not judging him. He's not criticizing him. He wants to learn from him. I think we'd be so surprised if we realized just how less interested we are in criticizing somebody at the gym and more interested in their stories and their struggles. And most importantly, if I saw that guy in the gym way overweight, you know what I'm saying? God damn it, good for him. Good for him. Congratulations on being here. That's a lot more balls to do that than somebody that just stays at home and doesn't do it. Because it does take a lot of courage to step through the doors for the very first time. It absolutely does. And it's not going to be easy. It's going to be a lot physically more difficult to do every single thing you're going to perform in a gym when you have a lot of excess weight. There's no doubt about it. It becomes a lot more physically challenging to get yourself to complete any workout. But you got to realize that on the other side of that is the life that you want to live, is that healthier life, the one that's going to allow you to stick around for a lot longer than you ever maybe imagine you would right now. Because you realize the path you're on right now is not going to get you there. But you also realize there's something you have to do. Now's the time to do it. I'll leave you with one story here. When Amir Khan and I were sitting down and talking, the one thing he told me, there's a guy of many transformations, up and down, weight loss, weight gain, muscle gain. He told me that the hardest part about it was when you looked at your task ahead and looked all the way up at the top of the mountain. Because whatever you want to get to is a reflection of the top of that mountain. If I'm that skinny guy who wants to get jacked, the jacked guy's sitting at the top of the mountain. If I'm this kid that's way overweight and wants to lose weight and get started and get into the shape he wants to, he's looking at that guy at the top of the mountain. Instead, focus on that step ahead of you. Don't look up, but look down and look at the path in front of you, because it's easy to just put one foot in front of the other. And before you know it, could be a couple of years, but before you know it, when you look up, there's nothing to look up at anymore. You're actually looking down because you're at the top of the mountain. You've gotten all the way up that path just by looking at the steps in front of you and putting that one foot in front of the other. And I think if this kid got any encouragement from Reddit, he's going to be on that path now. And I know he did, because the guy stepped up over there. And again, you think you might get ripped for leaving a comment like that. Instead, he got nothing but support. And I hope that our guys can go over there. I'm going to leave the link down here in this video. If you want to go over there and give him some support, please do so, because I think it's important. I hope somebody over there will share this video with him. This is basically my personal Ask Jeff response to him to say, you're doing the right thing, man. I'm proud of you. And I want to encourage you to keep doing what you're doing. Guys, I hope you found the video helpful. If you want more questions answered, you can leave them anywhere. Who the hell knows where they're going to show up, because it might end up right here being answered in an Ask Jeff video. All right, guys, we have full programs available over at ATHLEAN-X.com. Again, step-by-step, meal plans, everything you might need to get you on that right path if you need it. At the same time, guys, if you haven't done so, click subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss a new video when we put one out. All right, guys, see you soon.